All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Inside Texas with Mitch and Jeff. Mitch is on location once again in the West Wing of the White House, where he is making room. He's starting to help, I think, Biden pack up his stuff. I think that's what he's doing.
It's the transition. It really is. We've got to kind of make this work.
Yeah, we're trying to. You're doing the best you can. Mike.
Yeah, it's
Mike,
an undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location in the West Wing somewhere. Might be the basement. It could be the second floor. We're not sure, but we can't.
It could be the what is the Lincoln bedroom?
The Lincoln,
but I'm not saying.
No, I it can't be the Lincoln bedroom because I know the color of it, and that's not the color of the Lincoln bedroom.
Dang!
I've been in the Lincoln bedroom.
Okay, well, it's probably more like the basement.
Did you ever take the tour of the White House?
No, I haven't yet. I'd love to. That's on my bucket list.
It was great.
My daughter did. Now, she's a huge Democrat, so she got right in. I'm not sure they would allow me to go into the White House.
I'll tell you when I took it. Jimmy Carter was the president.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
man. It was 1977, 78, somewhere in there. Right after the bicentennial. My father and I and a cousin who's went in the military and became a tank officer. He was with us. But that's the only time. Mike Mariner's joining us tonight. Hey, Mike.
It's a time. And tell him, hey, don't be judging us on not making it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're here on Thursday.
You know what? The only thing he can do well is wine. That's it. He does good. He really good.
Ask him, does he have some cheese with that wine?
You got some cheese, Mike? Make some cheese. You make everything else. You might as well make cheese.
Well, I full disclosure, Jeff, and full disclosure, Mike. Carolyn and I did sneak off, and we were in an undisclosed location in Cabo, Mexico. I've spent every dime I ever earned, and I now owe my credit cards are all maxed out because we went to dinner 2 days in a row.
You were at the border counting illegal immigrants coming across the border. Don't talk to us about this Cabo crap. You were going,
a couple of times I was able to golf, but I was out there monitoring the border in Mexico.
Not good. That's good.
On the beach of Cabo.
On the beach of Cabo.
And I can tell you, nobody swam in from the Sea of Cortez or the Pacific Ocean while I was there.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's good. Yeah. That's all we can hope for.
I did my job.
There we go. Maybe we need you down at the border. If you didn't see any, they knew you were there. We said we not going. Mitch is there. No.
Give me an umbrella and a chair and a unlimited supply of beverages.
Yeah.
Non-alcoholic now, non-alcoholic. But and I'm there. I'm right there at the beach.
Yep, that's good. And I'm a gymnast.
Are you in the Olympics?
I'm in the Olympics. I'm one of the female boxers.
Right. I know. I saw that.
You know what? I gotta say this.
I did tell Karen. We got to the golf course, and I said, I do now identify as a female, so I can tee off from the red female tees.
Yep.
She didn't buy it.
No, I don't blame you.
I tried.
I wouldn't either.
But I feel like I identify as a female so that I could also get into the female locker room, but we're not going to talk about that because my wife's here in the room.
Smart man. You're
smart.
You're a smart man. Hey, you know what? I got a question for you. I thought about this today. I was going to pick up my medication. Maybe it's the medication making me think this stuff. Stuff that I'm taking for my back and everything.
It may be me being in the White House.
It may be you being in the White House too. But I thought about this. If people start identifying as different things, like this girl wants to identify as a cat. She says, I identify as a cat. Right?
Cat girl. Yeah.
Cat girl. Right. Now, cats don't pay taxes. Does she have to pay taxes?
You know, that's a great question. Maybe
and
I'm starting to feel like a dog or a cat.
That's right. That's what I'm starting to think.
My dogs don't pay taxes.
That's right. So if I identify as a dog, you can't come at me for taxes.
Man, what if I identify as a lamp?
A lamb?
A lamp?
Oh, a lamp.
Yeah. There's possibilities. They're out there, man. You've opened the window of The IRS needs a category, maybe 3 or 4 pages of how do you identify.
You know what? I've seen the stupidest stuff in the news happens to be in the past, I don't know, 6 months.
Yes.
Okay, so I thought about this today. I know somebody's going to go somewhere with this. I identify as this, therefore I don't have to pay this, right? And I thought about that, and I know it's coming up. Okay, that's number one. Number two, they got this big thing going on in Houston where people were protesting around the people's houses, and now there's this big thing going on that the state has even got involved in, saying that now you can't be within 500 feet of, if you want to protest, you can't be within 500 feet of the person you're protesting against in a residential at their home. So that means they can go to their neighbor's house or 2 doors down and protest. Why can't they just very simply come up with, you cannot protest in a residential neighborhood?
Right. Yeah. The HOA controls everything else.
Right. So why if you want to protest where they work?
That's something new because we've been out of town for a week. So is that what Whitmire was talking about? Yeah,
Whitmire, Ted Cruz. It happened with Ted Cruz and all these other people, and it happened in the mayor now of Houston, where they were protesting Whitmire. Yeah. So so they were coming together to this, and I just thought, well, this is easy. This is an easy thing. You cannot protest in residential neighborhoods.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to protest, you go to the courthouse or wherever they work. You're protesting. It shouldn't be the person. It should be what the person's job is or whatever they're doing. So
if you protest at my house, you have to stand in 7th Street.
Correct.
You can't. You have to be in the highway and play Frogger.
Well, that will take care of the protesters, then, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'm just saying.
We're going to give you this section here to the yellow line.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's funny that I did that. This is a funny story. I did that back when we had units 3 and 4 with the nuclear plant, and we had all these people being bused in, and I actually I went to council and got them to approve a protest area right in front of the Civic Center where the new sign is now. And it really worked because I went in, they came in, they wanted to protest, and I said, well, it's right over there. Right there, right on 7th Street, so everybody can see you. Right. And they were out there about 30 minutes, and they finally said, hey, if we put our signs down, can we come inside? I said, sure, come on inside. So anyway, I guess they didn't want to protest too hard.
Yeah, they're holding the sign. Our arms are tired, and it's hot. Can we come inside? Sure. We're going to sit down and protest.
Put your sons right here in the back of the room and come sit down. And they did, and they were delightful ever since. I don't know.
This country is just so.
Yeah, it's upside down, dude. It's upside down.
It is. I want to hit on this real quick and get two things out of the way, and then we'll get politics stuff going.
I love politics.
I know you do, and I love weather.
Oh yeah, let's get the weather done.
Right, I'm going to do this real quick, okay? And I didn't get to talk to Andy, but Andy posted this just a few minutes ago. Okay. This is going to be a crazy hurricane season. I don't know if everybody saw where this cone was for this recent storm that's coming up. They had to go on up the East Coast, and this is what it's going to do. Well, let me show you something now. Okay, we're going to show you this.
Oh man,
not the East Coast. It's moved west farther.
Okay,
and I'm going to explain again why. Well, why, Jeff? Why is this thing not now going up the East Coast? Why is it moving more west? A stronger storm will tend to turn. A weaker storm turns away.
Okay.
So
this was weak?
This is a weak storm.
Okay.
Right, as of right now. It's supposed to intensify once it gets into the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, it's Invest 97L. And
whoa, Jeff, I got to tell you right now, before you go any further, I have a golf tournament Saturday.
Okay, I think you should be okay.
No, you've got to make sure. I'm looking for that guarantee.
You know what? If something happens, you and I are going to take a ride to the other county that's north of us and see the old man that's in charge of the weather.
All right, he is in charge. I have put him in charge.
That's right. Or we're going to cut off his supply of Miller Lite. One of the two.
Ooh,
you cut that off. You cut that off, he'll get a helicopter and lasso that sucker.
You went deep.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
All right, so tell me about this storm.
All right, so this is storm Invest 97L. Now there's other, by the way, there's other storms out there that are coming off the coast of Africa that they're not gonna watch yet. The reason these storms have been holding off as of right now is because of the Saharan dust. We had a huge plume of Saharan dust yesterday, and it's fizzling out today. It'll come back down with a little bit of a cold front that we're going to get over the weekend.
Okay.
But the timing of this front coming down, the steering currents, and the high pressure that's set up at 3 different places, this storm is going to stall or slow down when it gets in that big blob red area.
Okay.
Now, they're expecting, now this is just speculation on what the charts and models we're reading. There's parts of Florida, Georgia, and southern Mississippi there, or Alabama.
In Alabama, you got to throw an Alabama in there.
Right. Parts of Alabama are looking at 30 inches plus rain. Ooh. Okay.
Wow.
Only because of this thing stalling out. Now, could it change? Yes, it's been changing. Right now, the cone shifted, and I'm going to give you miles. Right now, it shifted 350 miles to the west. So the actual where the red ends on the east side and where it goes, where it went, it moved about 350 miles. So could it move more? Yeah. Right now, there's a 1 in 10 chance. Oh, and I'm telling everybody this now. There's a 1 in 10 chance that coming more west towards us. Okay. And here's the reason why. Once it gets stalled out and head up, the steering winds and currents are going to change, and we're keeping an eye on that. I'll be talking to the National Weather Service tomorrow, along with Andy and the Hurricane Center. And this is their synopsis. They still think it's going to form there, but just hang around there a little bit. It might wiggle west a little. It might wiggle east a little, and then go off and they don't even know. Turn around, go around, do something. Okay.
All right. No further west than New Orleans. Can we agree to that?
No, I'm not going to agree to that.
Come on. I need some guarantees. I've got 19 teams.
Oh, Andy said you're good for golf.
Okay. That's all I care about.
Andy, I'm telling you, if you mess this up, Andy, I'm hiding.
Mess this up, Andy. I got 19 teams ready to play golf on Saturday morning at 8:00. Now, 3:00, it can do whatever it wants.
Saturday you should be good. And we're not gonna. If anything changes, it's going to be late Sunday, Monday. That we're talking.
I'm good. I don't care about that.
So I
do care. Now, don't get me wrong.
Now, I'm not going to make everybody all nervous and everything, but just keep an eye out for what's going on, please.
Supposed to do, right?
Right. Just keep an eye out. Be prepared anyway. Even if this thing doesn't hit, there's a whole line of other messy crap coming this way anyway. But please prepare, be ready. Get your generators checked out. Get your
Take
food.
Them to L&J Engine.
Oh man!
Dump on him tomorrow with 60 generators to be fixed.
That's it. You're breaking up now.
and you gotta want it in an hour. Give him an hour.
Yeah, I'll give you an hour.
Give him an hour to get your generator. No, Jeff, that brings up the deal we talked about last Monday.
Yeah.
And I've got a little bit of craw with the fact that all recommendations are to be self-sufficient for 3 to 5 days.
That's right.
Get your gas tank, cash, which, by the way, I will admit, I failed at that.
Yeah.
When Hurricane Beryl hit, I had no cash. I went to 4 or 5 ATMs, no cash. Your car filled up, cash, water, food. You got to be self-sufficient for 3 to 5 days.
Yep.
Jeff, it aggravates the crap out of me that 6 hours after Beryl hit, the winds hadn't even slowed down yet. People were on Facebook wanting to know, where is my food and my water and my ice?
Right.
And it's like, crap, guys. What part of 3 to 5 days on your own can you not figure out?
Right.
Why do you think that the government has to provide you with everything? I've even seen things to where they want to be comfortable.
Right.
Well, I was uncomfortable. Well, nothing says the operations center needs to make you comfortable. Right. It's to protect your life, your health, and your safety, right. Not your comfortability. And I'm complaining because it's hot and I'm having to sleep in a hot house. You live along the Gulf Coast. Your power is going to go out when a Hurricane 1 hits. It's going to be out for 3 days. If a Hurricane 2 hits, it's going to be out for 5 to 6 days. If a Hurricane 3 hits, expect your power to be out even longer. So why don't you prepare now? Or, here's the other thing, Jeff. Or if you don't feel like you want to be without power and you don't want to feel like you want to be without ice and water and cigarettes and beer and whatever else you need, then evacuate. Do not wait for a mandatory evacuation. Self-evacuate. Go live with somebody up north or out west or out east,
right,
away from the storm, and
right.
go up there and be comfortable. But I don't understand why you're on the Gulf Coast and then you want to know where the shelter is. It's not safe to shelter you in a location that can be impacted just like your home could.
Right.
So if you're in a mobile home or you're in a structure you don't feel safe, self-evacuate. One of the things, Jeff, that I read in social media after the storm, after Beryl, was, why didn't you force us to evacuate? What? Right. Why didn't we force you to evacuate?
Spoon feeders.
Give me a break.
Spoon feeders. That's what we call it, spoon feeders.
Why didn't you evacuate yourself so that you didn't have to undergo this uncomfortableness? Why you sit where you are in whatever structure you are, and when the winds die down to 50 miles an hour, all of a sudden you expect the government to start providing, the city or the county or the state, and start providing you with ice and water. I think, I'm going to say it, Jeff, and I'm going to get in trouble. I think we've spoiled people to the point where they're looking for that handout.
Yep.
I need you to be ready to take care of yourself for 3 to 5 days. Yep. If it's a small storm, I need your pets taken care of. I need food and medicine for your pets, for yourself, water. What is it? A gallon a day per person?
Yep.
You're going to be without power. You're going to be hot. It's going to sleep hot. Get your generator to L&J. Make sure it's running. He loves to work on generators, especially with the storm 12 miles out. That was a joke, right, Joe?
You better be.
That was a joke. My point, I'm being silly, but my point is I'm trying to be serious.
Mm-hmm.
What part of sitting where you are in trouble and at the height of the storm start calling people and saying, oh my gosh, I messed up and I need you to come help and get me? And I've seen all kinds of questions on Facebook.
Yeah.
Was there a mandatory evacuation? Was there a voluntary evacuation? Was there a mandatory evacuation of high-profile vehicles? There was never a mandatory evacuation to do anything.
Right.
What we said was 48 hours before the hurricane hits, you need to have high-profile vehicles, RVs, big boats, big vehicles. You need to be gone. And you need to be gone a full 24 hours before the hurricane hits. The reason is we don't want you broke down on the side of the road impeding car traffic, right. Evacuating.
That's right.
So it's very clear. I want high profile vehicles out, let's say 48 hours before a hurricane hits, because at 35 miles an hour, you're limited. We don't want you on the road 35 miles an hour turns into 40 miles an hour, turns into 50 miles an hour, and will blow your high-profile vehicle off the road.
That's correct.
So it's very clear that mandatory, no, you can leave it down there and let it get destroyed. That's fine. Don't, an hour before the storm hits, try to remove it out, because then you're blocking people that need to leave.
Yep, that's exactly right.
If you don't feel like you can sleep in your house for 3 to 5 days with no power, then leave. If you don't think that you can handle 3 to 5 days with no ice, then leave. Right. If you don't think you can handle 3 to 4 or 5 days without water, leave. I don't know how much clearer to get.
Right.
Quit expecting our first responders to put themselves in danger to come take care of you because you failed to evacuate.
Right.
Jeff, I'm going to end at that. But
well, the other thing I want to say too is a lot of folks have. Okay, so a lot of folks have central air, right?
Yeah.
A lot of folks have central air. Well, when the central air goes down, the electric goes out, your house is hot. I would suggest 2 things. First of all, get yourself a cheap generator. Yeah. And I'll tell you this, you don't have to get anything over 5,000 watts, and get yourself a small air conditioner for one room.
Yeah.
Okay. The AC, that generator, 5,000 watt generator, run your refrigerator, which you want, and your AC, and a couple of lights if you need it. That's all you need. 5,000 watt generator. Your hair dryer is 2,500 watts. Don't use your hair dryer. Okay. That's a lot. Heat uses more. Okay. Anything that uses heat uses more wattage. So, plug in your refrigerator. You can plug in an AC, a window unit AC. Doesn't have to be bigger than 5,000 BTU. A fairly small window air conditioner. You don't have to keep it in your window the whole time. Take it out when the electric comes back on. Right. And make sure you have a good running little generator, and do not put it in your garage to run it. No, leave it outside. Well, somebody's going to take it. Then get a chain and do what a lot of people do. Get a chain, tie it down, and chain it up to somewhere. Chain it, park your car outside. Chain it to your car. I don't know what to tell you. And
a carbon monoxide.
Yeah, a carbon monoxide detector.
And they come now is a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide detector.
And some of your generators have a carbon monoxide detector on them now as well. The newer ones, because people leaving them in their garages or doing whatever, it will automatically shut off the generator.
Okay.
So, if there's too much carbon monoxide.
That makes sense.
They are out there. They're not very heavy. They're not very expensive. So, if you want to, it's $300 for a 5,000 watt generator. That's about what they run. Between 5. You can buy them used if you want to, as long as they're running, whatever. But those 3 things to get you through a storm, if you don't want to go or don't want to leave and want to stay. And the other thing is, I did hear that, and I heard this, and I just let's put it this way: the state police has the right to ticket you if you are out on the road with a high velocity vehicle that is tipped over, or if you do cause an accident with it, will cost you a whole lot more. Not only the damage that you caused to your vehicle or someone else's vehicle, but also you're going to be ticketed for driving dangerously, in dangerous conditions. So, 30 miles an hour winds, 30 to 35 mile an hour winds. After that, brother, that's it. I mean, we've seen sea cans turn over in 50 mile an hour winds. So
Jeff, it's common sense. I mean,
it is, and we lost it. Everybody's lost it. Everybody's just sit back and spoon fed. That's why I keep on saying spoon fed, and it's got to stop. Somebody's got to stop it because it's getting ridiculous. I get the same thing in here at the shop where people are like, "Well, it ran yesterday." Well, that's because you didn't put oil in it. Well, I didn't know I had to change the oil. I mean, come on, man. It's just, I know. And I need it done tomorrow because my grass is high. I said, well, all these 50 other people need it too. I don't understand. Well, how come it's taking so long to make parts? I don't know. I don't make the parts, but I got to wait for them.
Right.
Well, if I give you the money up front for the parts, can you get them quicker? No, they come the same time. It doesn't matter if you pay, I pay, who pays. It's just common sense stuff that
we're losing.
I was forced as a kid to learn common sense stuff.
Right.
We were all forced at one time
to
learn common sense. Is that hot? Go touch it. Is it cold? Go touch it. Does that have electric running through it? I don't know. Yeah. Go put a knife in it and see what happens. You know what? We learned our lesson. And a lot of, it's a shame to say, it's just a lot of our kids, I look at them and it's like, God, they could have been good at something. And it's just a waste. And then I think, and I look at some of these kids and I go, they're going to be running our country. And I'm going to be wearing the pens, sitting in an old folks home, and we're going to have some kid going, well, the old people, they're done. Don't worry about them. Just let them go. We got to take care of the candy man.
There you go.
It's
scary, guys. It's scary. We live on the Gulf Coast. Yeah. We are going to have another hurricane.
Yeah, we're going to have another hurricane. Yeah,
but you're going to have another hurricane. You're going to have another bad storm, and you're going to have another ice storm. There's going to be another million reasons why we lose power.
That's right.
And it may be that the power grid goes down because we've got more people using power than we're producing power. Right. So be ready for that as well.
If you, and I want people to know this, and I've been wanting to say this for a long time.
I'd say it. It's a good day.
People love to live in beautiful places. Most of our beautiful places are along the coastlines of the United States of America.
Beautiful, right?
And I don't care where you live along the coastline, any coastline along the whole United States of America, including Washington State, Oregon, California. If you live along the coastline, you're going to pay bigger money for the view, but you're also going to pay bigger money for the repercussions of living in those nice areas. And the reason is because of the weather, and the weather along the coast, any coast from Maine to Florida up and around into the Gulf Coast, is going to be bad. And something bad is going to happen eventually along the coast. Now, in the Gulf, we live in the Gulf by the Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf of Mexico produces, and I'm going to say this, produces as many storms as the Atlantic does. And you can look it up. Storms that are produced in the Gulf, as many as the Atlantic does. And you go back and say, well, this storm started in the Gulf, or this storm built up in the Gulf. This storm built in the Atlantic. Sometimes they veer off a little bit more. But when they're in the Gulf, they're going to hit somewhere. Yeah. They just don't go and say, oh, there's land here. We're going to turn around and go back.
Right.
In the Atlantic, they can go along the coast and say, no, we're going out into the ocean. In the Gulf, in the Gulf, there's nowhere for them to go but land. And I want people to remember that. If you live along the Gulf Coast, be prepared at all times. I don't care who you are. If you say, well, I got more money than God, I don't care. They don't care how much money you got.
They don't.
They're coming. It's coming after you.
Knock your power out just like everybody else.
That's right.
And that's the thing is, and if you want to live here, great, and you don't want to suffer,
right?
Then evacuate.
That's right. Mike Mariner just said this. This is funny, but it's true. I don't even know. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I don't care. We should take all warning labels off items and let them weed out themselves.
Oh, Lord. Oh, I didn't say it, guys.
No, that's Mike Mariner. His address is, no, I won't say that.
I know. I know where he lives. I don't know his address.
I don't know it. I know where he lives too.
I don't know his address, but I'll give you the street name.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's funny.
But I think it's awful close to a Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Or maybe a McCoy's.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
See, I wasn't even going to say it. I don't
even know where he lives.
Wow. Man.
Close to Burger King.
Oh, man.
And I Jeff, there's no way I would ever say that he drinks coffee at Gurnan's Lumber. Leave that part out. Every day he's at Gurnan's drinking coffee.
Oh my God! I bet he's red as a muffin right now.
But don't let that go on the air.
We won't let that go on the air. No.
Okay.
We'll cut that part.
Gurnan's Lumber in Bay City, Texas. off 7th Street.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm
not going to say anything.
How many wineries did you hit up today?
A few. Just a couple.
Oh man. My garage doors are closed tonight. I get my back hurts and I'm not coming outside. I know I'm gonna get a bang on this door. I know it. I know I'm gonna get a bang on the door.
Let's talk about the boxing match.
18.
I haven't got the chance.
Oh, he put up his address.
Did he give us his address? You're on too many pain pills.
Oh man, a lot.
I got winery. You got pain pills. This is going to be a good show. We're going to be famous for this.
I'm not going to say. I know we're going to be famous after this one. I'm not going to say the address because other people are going to go, "What's his address?" He just posted it. I'm not saying it, Mike. I'm not going to.
Did he post it online?
Yes.
Oh Lord, he likes people coming over to see him.
Oh yeah, and if you go over there, expect to have about 40 guns pointing out the window.
And he's got a really cool workshop behind his house.
He does. Yes, he does. He does. Cool workshop and a nice little 4-wheeler thing that he's got there and everything. Yeah,
so here we go. So now we're going to the Olympics, and I understand, and I haven't seen the video, but some guy that says he identifies as a girl got to box a girl from the Italian boxer.
She was from Italy.
Beat her pretty bad.
2 punches and she quit. 2 punches.
There it is.
Yep. 2 punches and she quit. Now this guy last year was supposed to be in some kind of thing, and he was denied because of growth hormones. And this year, because the Olympic Boxing Commission doesn't exist anymore. That's one of the reasons why it's just a commission now. Said that they did their own test in France and said, he's good to go or she's good to go. And that's how bad it was.
Oh my God!
Or even our Olympics is falling apart.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Jeff. Now, so I've got 2 daughters. I have 5 granddaughters, and I don't want them exposed to this crap.
It's a joke anymore.
And I don't even care if it's in the arena.
Yeah.
But if I understand right, there was a young lady on the radio. I was listening to radio coming up here to Washington, D.C., to the White House.
Yeah.
And I understand that in the swimming world, the guy/girl that gets access to the locker room, and here's these girls naked trying to put their swimsuits on, and here this 6'2" dude walks in, exposing himself to them.
Yeah,
Jeff, I go back to what we said about the hurricane preparedness. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is not.
When you let a guy into a girl's locker room, much less compete against them. Yeah, there's something wrong. And of course, it's wrong on so many areas.
It is.
I don't understand where we are. And do I understand that today Title IX changed August 1st, so that if you identify as a girl and you're a boy or you have boy parts, then you now get access to girl scholarships, girl placements. There's something wrong.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
Title IX, if I understand it, you got the Biden-Harris rule changed today that now Title IX was always designed to make sure that the girls had as many scholarship opportunities as the boys. And sometimes that was a struggle, especially when I was in college, because we had the football team, which had 60, 80 players. You had baseball, so they had to have soccer, volleyball, swimming, but you had to have equal number of scholarships. And so this new rules that started today, if I understand it, Title IX now allows boys, if you identify as a girl, to compete for the girl scholarships. I don't see a fairness. I don't see the common sense.
It's not. It's almost like, you know what it's almost like saying, and this is harsh, but it's almost like saying, you know what? If you got a gun, you can shoot whatever you want.
Yeah. I know.
And I feel like it's coming to that. Like it's going to be a day will come up and say, well, Fridays you can shoot these kind of people, Tuesdays, but on Thursdays you can shoot. We're only doing this because too many people were complaining, and we want to keep them quiet, and we don't want to. Oh, geez,
it's crazy.
Why can't there just be no anymore? No, everything is okay. Okay, yes, okay, yes, okay.
Politically correct.
Yeah, it's no. Yeah,
it's you're a boy.
Yeah,
I realize you're a weak boy, and I realize you can't compete against other boys because you're too weak or too uncoordinated, or you're not good enough, or you haven't practiced enough.
Right.
But yet now you want to beat up on a girl in a boxing match in an Olympic sport,
right?
Because I guess you got your butt kicked about boxing the other boys, and so you didn't want to compete against the other boys. Now all of a sudden you decided that you're a female, and now you want to beat up girls.
Where was this guy? Where is this guy from, by the way? What country?
I just catching up. I don't know.
I thought it was from one of those countries. If you're caught in that manner,
Oh, I don't know. See, I haven't had a chance to research it.
I'll research a little bit more and we'll find out.
Okay, and we'll talk about that next Monday. I'll be back next Monday.
And Mike, and I agree with you. It all started with the participation trophies. Well, everybody gets a trophy.
Right.
No, when I was a kid, you were second place, first place, third place, whatever.
Yeah.
When I used to do a lot of bowling tournaments, where I probably spent every penny that I ever earned on bowling tournaments. A lot of people don't know that. I got to bowl with Mark Roth. I don't know if you ever heard that name. He was one of the top PBA bowlers in the world. Pete Weber. Chris Riga was a guy that got thrown off the PGA.
So I was on a bowling league, Jeff.
Yeah.
But it was more like a drinking league.
Yeah.
We did bowl.
Yeah.
That wasn't the goal.
No, the goal was, I know. I know.
I never did a tournament like you.
Yeah, no, I used to travel. We used to do travel tournaments, and I was in the 540 league for a long time.
That's
but
cool.
It's like, it was a men's league. It was men's.
I gotcha.
And no women ever came to us and said, "Hey, we're gonna come and bowl." They had their own. They had their own, and they were happy with that. know. So, if you want to be transgender in America, and I'm not talking gay folks, like two men or two women. I mean, I'm past that. We're past that point. This transgender fix is starting to get a little ridiculous to me too. It never really bothered me until the past couple of things where I'm seeing these girls that want to be boys being the Boy Scouts, and these boys that want to be girls going to Girl Scouts,
I know.
and the participation trophies, and these kids that are getting attorneys now suing their parents and getting away with it, and suing their grandparents because they're supposed to, oh my God, it's
scary.
It is. It's totally ridiculous.
Well, here's what I say: if you're a boy, play against the boys. If you're a girl, play against the girls.
Right.
If you're a transgender, then play against transgenders.
Correct.
And that way, we're still even. We're getting back to being even. Boys, girls, and if you're transgender, then you compete in a transgenders league.
Who is going to stop this?
I don't know.
Anybody? I doubt it.
I don't know. I don't know that anything can stop it. Jeff, I'm going to go conspiracy on you again.
Yep.
I think there's a conspiracy to tear down the American fabric.
Yeah, it is.
And if we tear down the American fabric, what it means to be male, what it means to be female.
Yeah.
And I think if we tear that down and we tear the church down and we eliminate the church and we eliminate common sense, I think we will be, and we start weakening ourselves. I'll tell you this. I think there's a huge factor, and I've read it, and I can't verify it, that one of the reasons the United States has never been invaded is because how many of us are hunters and how many of us own guns? And if a foreign country starts invading our shores, how many of us will load up our guns and our ammo and head down there and take them out?
No, stop right there. Don't say anymore.
Okay.
And people are going to say this. Well, we were invaded, 9/11 and Pearl Harbor and stuff like that. Never on the land. And Mitch is talking about a land-based war.
Exactly.
When 9/11 happened, they knew something was going to happen to them. They didn't care. They didn't care. They were dying for Allah. They already know they were dying for Allah. They didn't care. They were figuring to get to us first, and then they're going to come and get us, and who cares? We're dying for Allah. In World War II, during Pearl Harbor, when our land was hit, there was never any land force. It was all done in air.
Right.
And all of it done in air. And
a lot of those committed suicide.
And a lot of those committed suicide right afterwards as well. Yes. And right when they did attack us, they knew right away, oh, crap.
They said it.
Yeah, they said,
woken a sleeping giant.
Yeah, you woken a sleeping giant. We may have lost a lot of what we had in ships, but we came back and you know put the hammer down. So we're talking about
and the American ingenuity built boats faster than anything you could imagine.
Right, but a land-based war is what you're talking about. People,
I'm talking about an invasion. That's exactly right.
Yeah, and they're not the only country worried. I think Canada's worried as well. You know, because we're a border country with them. I don't think Mexico really, cares or whatever. But I don't think so. You know, there was something interesting today on talking about where we're. Oh, by the way, Andy Kirkland said Biden's Title IX blocked in 26 states, including Texas. So there you go.
But it goes into effect today, right?
Yeah, but it was blocked
everywhere else, I guess.
Yeah, it was blocked. Okay. Yeah, here. I was watching a deal with Lucille Ball, and I don't know if you knew this or not. And I heard this story maybe 25, 30 years ago. I remember.
Okay.
And 25, 30 years ago, it was more of a wow, really. Today, when I heard it, I'm like, yeah, man, that's amazing. Lucille Ball, it was in Hollywood getting her teeth fixed, and she had fillings put in them.
Okay.
And she's driving down the street, and all of a sudden, she started getting this chattering and buzzing sound in her teeth and making noise. The farther she was driving, man, it was buzzing and going crazy in her mouth. She could feel it, and what it was a that's what she was getting in her mouth. It was picking up a signal, a Morse code signal. And I didn't know I didn't know this at the time, but the Japanese actually had a hidden place in California. Where they were sending messages to Japan and the Japanese ships from Morse code.
Oh my God!
She went to the police or something like that, and she said, whatever. But she finally got to talk to some general or something that was in the area, and he goes, "Well, you're picking up Morse code," because she had directly across from each other where her molars were. It was picking up that signal, and they found that place. And I looked it up to see if it was true. It is true.
Okay.
They actually found like 6 or 7 Japanese communists that were, teletyping or Morse coding the Japanese fleet.
Wow.
And I was like, my God, Lucille Ball found,
wow.
What could have turned. It could have been a different way for us.
Sure.
But she was one of them. It's a story. A lot of people don't hear that story. I heard it about 20 years ago. Okay. And I just saw a thing today where she was talking about it, and I thought it was pretty cool. But anyway, bring that down. But anyway, the Olympics and everything right now, I'm not even watching it. But I will do this because of I will tell you the gold medals right now. China is in the lead with 11, United States with 9, France with 8,
Okay.
Australia with 8, Japan with 8. Now,
but we do lead the medal count, though,
we
right?
lead the medal count with 37, China with 24. Then it goes to France 27, Australia 18, Japan 16. Simone Biles did excellent. Our swimmers, our gymnastic teams and our swimming teams are just.
Yeah, I watched that Katie last night.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
She smoked them.
Oh yeah.
She smoked.
And Simone Biles, thank God that she came back and had her head together, and the pressure was really on her.
Well,
the last Olympics,
absolutely. I mean, they expect perfection of that young girl.
Yeah, and she's married now.
That's not right. I mean, I'm looking at my grandkids, and I'm expecting perfection from them, and they mess up from time to time. Now,
everybody does.
I just spent 5 days with them, and they sometimes they're a little crazier than I want them to be. But we were watching the Olympics from Cabo, and of course it was in Spanish. I watched it all, but I have no idea what was going on because I can't speak Spanish, especially that fast. Hey, I wanted to touch on the congressional hearings about the Trump assassination attempt.
Yep.
And now that was something else, man. And when these Secret Service guys won't answer a question, and now they're saying, well, we didn't have enough Secret Service, so we told the local police to watch the roof.
That's right.
And they misunderstood, and they were in the building, not on top of the building.
That's right.
And the police are going, dude, that is not what you asked us to do.
Right.
You asked us to do something else. Jeff, my conspiracy theorist starts rising, and they allowed this teenager to take shots at the president, trying to take him out. And I'm telling you, here's the thing that just infuriates me. The FBI made up a dossier. They made up all of these things on Trump to try to get him out. Who's investigating the assassination attempt? Oh, the FBI. Do I have any confidence that they will do a good job? No.
No.
Zero.
Yeah. No.
The Secret Service, the agent in charge, and I heard this from the new acting agent, this agent in charge has not been relieved of duty, even though the acting director said he was embarrassed. He was infuriated with the lack of control. And they said, well, has this individual been relieved of duty? And he goes, no. He's leading the investigation. Yeah. So the agent in charge of making all the decisions prior to the speech now is a part of the investigation to find out what went wrong. Is there something that I'm missing? Jeff?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Okay. So first of all, on this whole thing, I really, really think it's the word I'm trying to look for. The protection has gotten really lax.
Yeah, it's
a lot. I don't think first of all, I don't know how many days of training or what cops were put out there or what sheriff's department were put out, but you take a county like that where they have maybe 3 guys. Well, when you got a detail like that, you bring everybody in. You bring everybody in. And the government has to pay for those guys to be there. It doesn't have to be out, I don't know if that was explained or not, or if the county said, or that particular county said, well, we ain't got the money to supply all these guys, or we ain't, the town said, we ain't got the money to bring on all these guys. Okay. Are we going to get reimbursed for it or what? I believe he did something there before in that town.
Okay.
And, there was no problems then. And I'm, what they're saying is that this kid was there at the last rally that he was there.
Oh, okay.
And that's some of the news is reporting that, some of it does not. Was able to say, was able to look and say, okay, well, this is where they're looking, this is where they're not looking, this is where they're at, this is where they're not at. So he knew ahead of time, and it happened to be the same setup, the same scenario. So you had what I don't understand is you had some police officers in the glass buildings, and that was a glass making company there. That they had some police officers inside the building next door. Now, how does that protect the president outside?
I know.
So you're telling me you had 4 to 6 officers inside that building, inside, not outside. That was number one. That was number one. Number 2 is the snipers. From what the snipers are talking about, did you see the interview with the 6 ex-snipers for the okay.
No.
So those guys said they had to see him. They were pointing in that direction. They were already pointing in that direction. They had to see him walk on the roof. They had to see him. So the whole scenario didn't make any sense to me.
Well, let me ask you this. Did they allow it? Did they allow this kid to take 8 shots before they shot him?
Let's go back to JFK.
Oh.
You mean to tell me out of a 6th floor building that I was in and saw an idiot with a piece of crap gun?
I know.
Killed the president of the United States, and then everybody that was witnesses to different things said no.
Pointed to the grassy knoll.
You pointed to grass. No, that didn't happen there. No. And that's what the FBI told them, that out of the 57 witnesses that the FBI pulled in, 20 of them are dead.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Something. Man. To find out, and we talked about this, to find rifle bullets on the top of the police station, almost 40 years later after the assassination on the roof. It's like, God, something is not right. Our government has control of us, letting us know what they want to know and what they don't want us to know.
I know.
They have that control.
I know.
Have that control. Who regulates radio and television? The Federal Communications System, run by the government. Who makes the decisions on who's right and wrong when bad or people that work for the government do things? The government does. The FBI. They're making fun of the Secret Service people and all this and that. That Secret Service job, that's, man, you're all you are in the Secret Service is not only a protector of the person you're protecting, but you're a shield. You're not wearing armor.
Right.
I mean, you are the armor.
You are the armor.
And
your body in the way. And those agents did.
Yes, they did.
After he shot 8 times.
Right. After he shot 8 times. But what I don't get is when you had 30 other people yelling, there's a guy on the roof with a gun.
Right.
And guy climbed up on the roof. And the cops are just looking around, it's okay, it'll be fine. And then boom, done. Hey,
I'm with you.
I don't care who it is, whether you like the guy or not like the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still a human being.
That's right.
And this is the way, things, the way the world is anymore is it's totally ridiculous.
Just like we talked about in the beginning.
Yeah. And
we're losing it.
People anymore, it's like this guy was a Republican to begin with. That's
but if I wanted to be stupid and I'm 20 years old and I'm planning on shooting Trump, would I go register as a Democrat? I mean, it doesn't mean registering doesn't mean that's the way you feel or that's the way you intend to vote.
The guy that shot Reagan was a Republican.
Yeah.
But all he wanted to do was make Jodie Foster he wanted Jodie Foster to like.
Right.
There's other reasons, Booth, who shot Lincoln, voted for Lincoln.
Okay.
But because he didn't like the way the Civil War was turning out and the way that the equal rights stuff was going, he wanted to get rid of him. He didn't care. So it's if you think the world is crazy now and just getting crazier, I'm afraid, and I say this, this is just my theory on this. I'm afraid it's only going to get worse before it gets better, especially with people trying to knock off other people.
I told you, Jeff, I want a common sense party.
Yeah, I wish.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
And I don't mind if we debate politics. I love that.
Oh, so do I. More than anything, I love to debate politics. Yes.
And I love debating policy.
Right.
And I do.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, get me in a room, man. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
But why do we have to hurt each other? And why can't we get along? There are people in Bay City that I love. I'll say it. And that we respect each other and we have the ability to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And respectfully. And I think the world of them. Yeah. And I'm assuming they think the world of me. And we disagree. And we love to discuss our disagreements. And I don't understand where we lost that in
I think
life.
People can't separate anymore. They can't separate a human being from a political party. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way I see it. You say, well, I'm not going to talk to that guy over there. He's Republican. He's got a Trump sticker. I'm not talking to him. Well, maybe he's the nicest guy in the world. Maybe that's your doctor. Maybe you don't know who that is. No. You don't know who that is. Maybe that person will save your life. Maybe that person someday, someone in his family is going to marry someone in your family.
Right.
We're not taking the perspective of human beings anymore. Now we're taking titles, Republican and Democrat. And I told you this before, probably a year ago or so. Everybody's separating themselves from Republican, Democrat, or Independent.
Right.
Not as a human being.
Right.
We don't, and another thing I don't get, I've been going to church a lot lately, more than I've ever done in my whole life. And I'm glad that I do. And Pastor John and the guys down in Wadsworth, they're great people. And, even though John's fat and round and, he's my pastor and he's ugly.
Round is a shape.
Round is a shape. And that's what I tried to tell him. But
I'm in shape.
Yes. Round is a shape. And he doesn't have Facebook, but his wife does. And I'm going to make sure he knows that I talked about him.
Okay, good.
But anyway, John and I talk about this all the time.
Okay.
Baseball games, we sing the national anthem and stuff like that. People who get down on the people that would kneel down to the national anthem or whatever. It's an anthem about America, not about the people. It's about the land that we live in. It's not about the people. Whenever there's a war against people. It's not against the land.
Right.
Except right now in Ukraine, where that idiot wants the land. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's always the wars that go on are the decisions that people make or things that they have said for the most part. 99% of the time, a war is brought on by governments, and us, the people, have to suffer.
Right. We're just sitting in the
We're
middle.
Sitting there in the middle going, please shut up because I don't want that guy throwing a bomb over this way. It's like, please shut up. And I was going to try to make a point and I just lost my train of thought. But anyway,
all right.
We're not parties. We're people.
Right. We're people.
And socializing with people to agree to disagree is like wiped out the door anymore. I can come and say something that somebody, well, I disagree. Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
You can disagree. Yeah. But there might be 40 other people that agree. Might be 40 other people that disagree. That's why it's called common sense.
Well,
common sense people would pick up on the conversation that you're having. Right. And if it makes sense to them, it makes sense to them. And okay, it's common sense. But I'm not going to go because of your political view and bash you down to the ground.
Right.
Because I don't know who you are as a person. I don't know you personally. They talk about Trump. Hey, he raised his kids great and this and that. And yeah, okay, fine. Well, some of them are a little corrupt now, but Biden's is as well, too.
Right.
But as they always say Joe Biden as a human being is a great guy. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is, too. But politically, he's
going. And of course, you've said it before. It's not the president that runs all this stuff.
The president doesn't run the country.
He appoints these people and trusts them to run it the way he wants it run.
Correct. Yes.
And if they don't, or they do, then deal with that.
You want to move out your president in 4 years? How about moving out some of your senators that have been there for 30
or longer?
Or longer. You know, how long was Thurman in as a senator? Forever.
He didn't even know where he was.
Forever.
Yeah. Feinstein. She didn't even know where she was.
No.
And stayed there. And I mean, that guy from, what's the big guy's name that wears the hoodies? Fetterman.
No, Fetterman, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I worry he doesn't know where he is.
Yeah, he said strokes. Yeah, but
I think he's done a little bit too much drugs when
back in the day. Yeah.
But I mean, he got elected.
He did, and we don't hear much about him right now. He got elected. After he got elected, you don't hear if he's doing something good or bad or whatever.
Good or bad.
Nothing.
I saw him on something, and he was somewhere in a hoodie, and it was very inappropriate.
Yeah.
And maybe he was in Israel.
With
the prime minister in a hoodie, and I'm thinking, oh my God, you could have dressed a little bit more professionally.
And that's another thing. We lost respect for ourselves.
I know.
I
know, Joe.
And you always dress very nice. Me, I don't, because I'm always playing in slop, mud, and grease, and garbage. But if I got to go somewhere I'm gonna dress.
Appropriately.
Dress to impress, they say. But we lost it. So the common sense is almost dead. It really is. It's almost. It's a shame.
How can we start a common sense movement? I don't care if it's hurricane preparedness, the government, how we dress, how do we get a common sense movement again?
It's going to be hard to do because the common sense people sit in the corner and watch the other two parties just go.
Amen. And I'm telling you, so let's say that there's 20% that is far, far left, crazy left, 20% far, far right, crazy right. There's 60% of us, the majority, that's sitting here scared to comment on either side.
Yeah.
Because they're crazy.
Yes.
They're crazy.
Yeah, they're both nuts. Yeah.
And so I'm scared to say something about the Democratic crazies, and I'm scared to say something about the Republican crazies.
Right.
But the majority of us are sitting here scared to death. And I want to mobilize the 60% of us to take back over, and I don't know how to do it.
Here's another problem. It's a game. Politics is the game. And I'm going to tell you why it's a game.
All right.
If you all remember back when Trump was running, a lot of the Republican constituents, including Vance, said I would never vote. He's nuts. He's crazy. He's this and that and blah, 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 blah. Called him every name in the book, whatever, this and that. Now he's running to be his vice president.
Right.
Okay. And I got footage of that. I'll be more than happy next week to pull it up, and you can see word for word what the vice president, that is your vice president running for vice president,
right,
said about Donald Trump. I can also pull you up stuff about his former vice president, what he said about Donald Trump before he became his vice president.
All right.
I can also pull up stuff. Donald Trump was a Democrat and was a huge supporter of the Clintons. Huge supporter of the Clintons. Huge. Right. Paid for weddings and everything. Friends, huge friends. And turns around and does and says what they want. I can go back and show you stuff about other presidents. I could talk, even Joe Biden.
So they'll say. So what you're telling me is they'll say anything to get elected.
They'll say anything you want. They'll say anything you want to hear. Exactly right.
Kamala did too. I mean, when she was her 2020 campaign.
Yeah.
When she was running against Biden, she said some crazy things.
Right.
That she's denying today.
Yes.
Which just tells me on a national level, and I am not going, Jeff, put this in parentheses. I'm not talking about local politicians.
Right.
But on a national scale, they will say anything they will talk about different things with different groups.
Right.
They might say one thing in this group and another thing in this group and something totally opposite in that group while they're campaigning, and hope like heck that nobody catches them.
Next week I'm going to play something. I really am.
I love it.
Okay. I'm going to play something that people were asked questions that Joe Biden said this, and this, and what do you think? And they just hammered them. And at the end, after those people hammered them, the lady went back and said, "Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is what Donald Trump said." And they went back and they went, "Oh, well, he had a right to say that then, this and that." Total opposite. I have it.
Love it.
It's the craziest thing you ever want to see in your life. But it doesn't have to do with common sense, because right there it shows there isn't any.
There isn't any.
It has to show party. I'm sorry. I don't live by
party and power.
Party and power. I don't live by party. I live the best man for the job. Common sense. Who is the best man for the job? I don't need to be Republican. I don't need to be Democrat. I want to look at right now, looking at everybody. I would say nobody. There's nobody.
Yeah, none of the above.
No, none, zero. But anyway, all right, we're running out of time, and I'm sure you need a refill on your wine, and your wife needs a refill. Your wife needs a refill. Good. Yeah. All right. And hey, hang on, bartender, 2 of them right there, please. Thank you, Rick. 2. Dos Equis, a Cabo San Lucas, so right there. On behalf of myself, Jeff Michaels, and the lovely and talented Mitch Staines, reporting live from us from the West Wing of the White House. You're listening to Inside Texas, and we'll catch you all next week. See you later.